A lot of my anxiety comes from, like, I have mad sexual hang-ups. Like, I was a late bloomer. I didn't kiss a girl until I was 25. And I didn't fuck a girl until I was 26. And that is the order a good Christian boy does it. Just a little bit earlier. Yeah. Here's the thing about that, though. Like, I was a virgin until I was 26. From the age of, like, 17 to 23, it's so fucking stressful because everybody you know is fucking and talking about it. Holy shit. And, like, so that you just have to lie. After 23, people just assume you're an adult, so you can kind of just go be a weird virgin. And that's where being fat comes in handy. You can't be a skinny virgin. People pick you out right away. Get this murderer laid before he builds a bomb. So yeah, it's fucking super fat. I didn't fuck till I was 26. Nothing changed. I thought it was gonna change my life. I was just like, I'm gonna fuck and I'm gonna be a real boy. This is gonna be awesome. And nothing changed. I had sex at 26. The only thing that changed is that 3 months later, I turned 27. It was the only thing that was different. And I'm not, like, I found out so much about, like, my sexual nature. I've been fucking for like 4 years. I'm 30 now. You know, I've been getting work done, guys. I've had sex with 6 women, guys. One of them a bunch. It was my ex-girlfriend. I'm not over her, so we're not going to talk about that. Still a raw nerve. It's going to take 2 years. We heard the wallet story. That's what I found. Like, I'm a relationship guy, 100%, and that does not bode well for how the dating culture is now, because it's just a hookup culture. Like, I feel like I have to just give people a warning, like, if I'm on a dating site, it's just like, look, my name's Keith, and if you're not careful, I will text you every day. Like, so just fucking be warned. I can't hook up, and that's like the main shit. Like, I tried to hook up with this one girl. I get so anxious. Like, sex startles me sometimes. I can't. I tried to hook up with this girl off Tinder, and she was real kinky. And it was like, I'm not. That's one thing I found out about myself. I am not kinky. I like sex, and, like, I just can't. It just, I can't do it. I'm getting fucking I'm, like, losing my boner, and I don't even have one. And I'm just thinking about it. I can't, so I just get and I hooked up with this girl, and I knew right away, like, she's into some shit. She fucking has mad calf tattoos. She rode a bike here. She's into some shit. She reads all sorts of books and manuals. So I hooked up with this girl, and she wanted to, like, role play. And I was not on board with it. Like, it was one of those situations where I was like, look, either I'm going to nail this role or I'm going to fuck you. But it's not, both things aren't going to happen. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a performer. But you gotta give me my role. Don't fucking confuse me. Can't improvise with a boner. What are you talking about? I didn't take that Second City class. So I couldn't operate. And it was very embarrassing. She had my not hard dick in her hands, and she was, like, looking at my dick and my eyes, and then she was just like, are you nervous? But here's the thing, like, she wasn't making eye contact, and I was already fucking freaked out, and because of the role playing earlier, I kind of got startled and was just like, holy fuck, does she want me to answer her as my dick? And if so, do I talk in my voice? My normal voice? I'm kind of scared right now. This isn't really a dicky voice. Do I bring it down lower a little bit? No. You don't want to make your dick sound black. That's dishonest and racist, Keith. And then by the time I came to, she was gone, and I was watching Planet Earth on Netflix. Just thinking about life. I'm not kinky at all, and I feel bad about it because that's the new shit. Like, it's the new. I feel like being kinky is the new being vegan. Like one day you found out that one of your friends likes anal sex, and you're just like, well, now I gotta download all these podcasts, get into this weird shit, and fucking call my friends not sex positive. That's what I gotta get super into this. And I just like, I can't even, because I'm not kinky and I can't talk about my friends with it because nobody else, like I was trying to talk to my one buddy, I was like, dude, I'm trying to date and like hook up with girls, and a lot of these chicks try and do shit with your butt. And he just cut me off and he goes, talk to me 4 years ago about butt stuff. I'm like, really? You're gonna be a hipster about this right now? This is my asshole, not a Modest Mouse demo. Just fucking be a friend. I found out how unkinky I was. I hooked up with this girl, and I called her like 2 weeks later. I was just like, hey, would you like to hang out again? And she was like, yeah, it sounds fun. But I don't think we should hook up again. And that's like an adult moment where you're just like, cool. It's, 50-50 shot that we get along. You weren't into it, but you want to hang out. Cool, we won't have sex. But as I was thinking all that rational shit, I was saying, why? And right away, she was just like, no. Like, she got so defensive, and she was like, it wasn't bad. And she goes, but if I'm being honest, which are horrible words to hear, nothing good is going to follow that. They had to, like, painfully fight for it. If I'm being honest. She said it was a bit regular for me. And to inject some humor into it, I was just like, are you trying to say I fuck like a dad? And she just paused, and she goes, yeah! That's how I describe it. So apparently I fuck like I gotta get up early in the morning. You gals are into that. I'm single. Slinging this dad dick from 4 to 8. I gotta put the kids to bed. They do not stay asleep if the bed's pounding against the wall. Gotta put these kids to bed. I'm even weird in sexual situations that I'm not in. And that makes me sound way fucking cooler than I am. One night I was walking home, and there's a bench by my house. And on the bench this night, there was a dude, and he was fingering this girl. Tight. Like, that's just a moment where just like, you're like, all right, this is life happening in a large city. 3 million people in the city. This is happening on at least 4 other benches in Chicago right now. Has to be. Just go home, Keith. Certainly remember this. But go home. And I just started staring at him. Like, not even in a way that, like, I planned it and I'm behind something. Like, I just was startled. Like, I stumbled upon, I was just... And I realized that the reason I got startled is because it reminded me of when I was a kid, instead of telling me about sex, like with his words, my dad called me into the living room, and he was like, hey, big guy, do you want to know how babies are born? And I'm like, totally. And then he just played porn. And then he didn't even narrate it. He's just like, all right, sit back, big guy. You're going to learn. 2 things. Number 1, you're scarring me for life. Number 2, that is not how babies are born. You've horribly misinformed me as well. Now you've left me a sexually repressed boy who is incredible at foreplay. You really do excel at the things that scar you, It's true. But so I thought of all that when I was watching this dude, and I snapped out of it because he yelled at me because I was like 8 feet from him. I was very close. I was uncomfortably close. And he was just like, hey man, what the fuck are you looking at? And he didn't stop fingering his girl, which I appreciate. But I realized in that moment that I had to just kind of own being a pervert. Because it's not like I could have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, sir. This just reminded me of an awkward moment I had with my father. I will go home and masturbate to this. Excuse me. But I felt ashamed in that moment. I carry a lot of shame with how not sexual I am. Because I'm all for sexual freedom. I'm all about if you're fucking wild, fucking tight. I envy you. So when I was walking home, I made a deal with myself where I was just like, all right, Keith, fucking next carefree sexual situation you're in, just do and say the weirdest shit that comes to your head. Fuck it. And then like 3 weeks later, I was at a bachelor party in a town called Brooklyn, Illinois. And when you're in a small town that's named after a big city, you can do whatever the fuck you want. There's no rules in that town. Fucking, so I was in this strip club, and it was the kind of strip club where like you walk into this building and you're just like, you break the threshold and you're just like, someone's been murdered in here. There's death in these walls, and that lady is twerking with a beer bottle in her butt cheek. This is gonna be wild. Southern Missouri at its finest. So I was there, and this lady was doing her job to me, and we were kind of like hitting it off. I knew she had liked me because I wasn't paying anybody for dances, and she kept coming over to me and dance. So I was just like, I'm clearly the nice boy in the strip club. And she was like dancing on me all night, and then at some point she leaned back and she goes, hey, spank me a little bit. And I was just like, all right. So I reached up, and I was coming down to spank her, and as my hand was coming down, I remembered the pact I made with myself. I was like, this is it. Carefree sexual situation. You don't even fucking know this girl, Keith. Like, you know she has stretch marks, but you don't know her. There's no consequences. So say it. Like, this is it. Say some weird shit. So my hand came down, it slapped her ass, and then I looked up with the most confidence I could muster, and I just went, your butt cheek is cold. And I was just like, all right, I'll see myself out the door to the strip club, I guess. I was very embarrassed.